even get through the intro.
Everything! Northern Ireland.
See?
We are Northern
That's
Ireland Wrestling.
Hill, that's Allan, that's obviously Hayley, and that's me. And that's done by Dylan Cook. I'm still in.
Yeah, Dylan. So yes, I'm Allan GW Price. He's Vintomania. That's X Swanton Girly X. And that's some Kane fan over there in the corner called Mr. Big Red 1990.
Hello.
Got the pleasure sitting beside me tonight.
I like the fact that
Pleasure is all mine.
he's just about in shot anymore.
Yeah.
I'm having.
He's like a
neck
severed
problems
head.
here.
He's like a severed head.
Told you could sit there.
So yes, everybody, welcome to another episode of Northern Ireland Wrestling Connection. It has been a while since we've done a video. This is going to be our WrestleMania predictions video as to who we think is going to come up with the W at WrestleMania.
WWE.
The woo-woo?
And if any of you guys can get it right, like as in every match, I will give you a $100 bill.
My goodness.
Thought you were going to offer up the mini there. I was taking the mini.
Okay, well we'll get things started then. Mr. Vince.
Right, so this is from Wikipedia because it's all over the place.
Do logically save the bigger matches to last.
Yeah, well, I don't think that Tons of Funk is going to headline WrestleMania, to be honest with you.
Last match on the card.
So we'll start with that. Tons of Funk, Brutus Clay and Tensai, and the Funkadactyls versus Team Rhodes Scholars and the Bella Twins. 8-person mixed tag team match, apparently.
Like got on the card rather than flipping Wade Barrett.
So this was the pre-show, and then they dropped that, and they've put.
I don't think there was ever any confirmation that this was pre-show.
People just assumed.
Yeah.
Everybody just assumed, rightly so, that it was going to be the pre-show, but on Raw there, it didn't have the graphic that the Wade Barrett Intercontinental title match had.
But that's not going to take an hour, that.
No, that's the thinking. You know,
Unless it's
Stephanie
like
said in an
last
interview
month's
the
standing
reason.
match or something.
Stephanie said the reason there's going to be an hour pre-YouTube show is so they could have a couple of matches. So there's going to be something else ends up on here, and logically, this one should be the one that goes in.
I think.
Well, you'd like to think there'd be a battle royal
Royal.
for somebody to face Cesaro since he doesn't have a match.
Or they might just shove a Cesaro match on the pre-show.
Yeah,
At some point.
he has done many pre-shows, so that wouldn't be surprising at all. But
He needs a pre-show.
in my opinion, it'll be Tons of Funk comes up with the victory on this one.
Well, I'll go for Team Rhodes Scholars.
Yeah. High five.
I go for the Bellas to pull the switch, even though you can't tell which one's which. Due to the
Oh my goodness, they've used twin magic. Why has one's breast got bigger?
It depends if this match starts the show, you would think Tons of Funk to get people.
If it's if it's on the pre-show, it'll definitely be a Tons of Funk victory.
I would say Tons of Funk. I'll go for Tons.
So
But
we're going
why?
for Tons of Funk. They're going for the Bellas and Rhodes Scholars.
Mustachio.
So we'll go for our next pre-show match, which will probably be Team Hell. No, which will be Wade Barrett versus The Miz.
Oh.
So it's nice that the Miz, like 2 years ago, was headlining WrestleMania,
He's come so far.
and now it's a case of he's in pre-show. He gives a chuff about Miz.
Maybe you'll be selling popcorn next year.
It is crazy. It is crazy that you
Big
say
issue.
that. What was it? It was the year prior to him main eventing was the opening match with Big Show with the tag titles, wasn't it?
Yes, and that was only like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Even.
that was against Jomo and
Yeah.
Oh, so
R-Truth.
it's the Black Knights or whatever they were called.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, it was something ridiculous. But he goes from opening match to main event, so really, really good improvement. To going from main event to wasn't it 8-man
John
Yeah.
Laurinaitis.
Team
And then
SmackDown
he's the
versus
last person added to that as well.
yeah, and then pre-show this year.
Because someone knocked up, didn't it?
It's just like seriously,
Somebody
come
got
on.
injured. It was like Christian or somebody. Because then Drew McIntyre was put in there.
And he
Three
injured
of them, you don't
himself.
have a match chances.
They could end up
What?
with pre-show, you know.
Yeah, it could be.
Mine
them
actually
versus
probably
Cesaro.
they'll be access matches.
Mm.
They'll be access as well. Zack Ryder. We
Yeah.
know
Or
it.
Zach.
Unless they put 3MB against Great Khali, Zack Ryder and Gabriel
Oh,
for a
God.
pre-show match.
Just why?
That was on Raw recently, wasn't it?
Yeah, that might sort of.
It's hard to tell which one's the job squad, to be honest, when they're facing off against each other.
But I think that I have.
You just love his face so much.
Phoenix.
Really?
I think they'll pull a big one out for the pre-show and have Miz win the Intercontinental title to get people interested that are up in the air as to whether they're going to buy the pay-per-view, and if
To
they
show that
see
something can
yeah,
happen.
and if they see a title change, then they may be more inclined to go, things may be happening. So I'm going to go for the Miz to pick up the victory over Wade Barrett. Sorry, English fellas.
I would probably agree with you there and go for the Miz to win. I think it's obviously been feuding with Cesaro for the US belt, and then doesn't really.
Viva Del Rio retweeted back.
Oh wow!
If you're wondering, everybody, I was dressed up as Alberto Del Rio earlier. Well, when I say dressed up,
Oh wow!
what did he say?
Back saying, ha ha ha, awesome, ha ha.
That's in sick. What was it?
It was the video. Oh, it was the picture.
That was the picture. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Del Rio.
Oh,
Throw me the scarf.
where's the scarf? Scarf's in Fleur. Where's it beside you, Helen?
Oh no.
What's the scarf?
Keep talking while
Where's the scarf?
Yeah, so I think
Socks,
the
if you like
Miz.
some dirty socks.
No.
The
What?
scarf's over here. Right, keep talking.
Keep
Oh, here,
talking.
scarf.
Yes.
Go. Where's the music? Hit the music. Oh my word! I can't believe he threw it back.
You've got quite a good few.
That's freaking awesome.
Language, Hayley.
Frickin'.
Freaking, that's my new word.
Joe.
What the heck is that one?
This is a new one?
Oh, okay.
Just wait for the drums.
You don't have to.
No, you're on his old one. There we go.
Like how you just bobbed your head.
Okay.
Anyway, back to the matches.
Yeah, so I think the Miz is going to win because he's been due the belt for quite some time, and with him being a face, he needs to do something. So I think this will open up some. I don't know who he'll go against. Once he wins the belt, whether he'll go against somebody like maybe a Sheamus who's going to drop down the card or something, because I don't think Sheamus is going to go for too many titles, or if Team Hell No break up, go against like Daniel Bryan.
And you wonder what they're going to have to do with Ryback after Wrestlemania as well.
We're still going to have to feed him stuff.
I think logically Ryback needs to start going for like a mid-tier title or something, but we'll
He's
talk
kind
about
of
that
lost
later.
in the top tier, don't
Mhm.
I'll say Barrett over Tim.
Wade Barrett.
Because Miz has already had a run with the Intercontinental belt recently, I think.
Miz is a Grand Slam champion of available
I would
titles
say
in his
just
time
move him
period.
on and move him further up after this feud and let Barrett feud.
But that's what I'm
someone else
thinking
for the
is
title.
that's what I'm thinking in the sense of if Miz beats him for the Intercontinental title, then Barrett could move on and do other things.
Honestly, I think Miz will move on to other things higher up without the belt.
See, this is the thing.
He's been there and done that.
Miz, since his face turn, has been very, very stop-start. He was meant to get a major push from it because Flair was involved, but Flair's been in and out and round about, having went to Japan, had his clot, and now the unfortunate passing of his son has, looks like it's scuppered an appearance at WrestleMania for folks who bought the VIP tickets and stuff. So that's kind of had an effect on the storyline for Miz as well. So for me, the logical thing would be to give him the Intercontinental title at this moment to keep him kind of in the picture, whereas Barrett could get away without the title at the moment and I think push on.
I think Barrett needs to make
I
another
think Barrett needs
faction.
the title more though than Miz.
I think they need to bring another faction in, with the Shield and stuff. I think like if Barrett was to make like a faction to go against the Shield,
UK
something like that.
faction.
Yeah.
Him, Drew, and Sheamus.
Through.
Really. Oh my God,
He's not too
He's
busy
only
booking
Welsh,
concerts and
right?
gigs.
That's right.
And
So
then
he knows
Sheamus.
where he's in Europe.
Well, he's only Welsh one, he's only Scottish one, sorry.
And who's Swan Top?
Drew Scottish.
Yes, I think.
Seamus Irish, Mason Ryan
Oh no,
Welsh.
I don't know why I said Welsh for Drew. Sorry. Who do I think's gonna win this match?
So we both went Miz, he's went Wade.
I'll stick with him, Wade.
Oh, disappointed, Hayley.
I just have a funny feeling Wade will maybe.
Miz has had it, and they're not going to put it back on.
You're just
But then-
you're just sticking with the UK Rampage, guys. I disown you. I disown you.
But then again,
There's
Miz
no reason
has
I don't
put
think
up
to put it
about
back on
being.
Miz. He's had it.
I know, but
But
he's
But when has the
Well,
WWE ever had to do anything with reason?
Well, that's true.
he's sort of promoting himself as a
So that's
triple
it, so-
trying Triple
Triple crown.
Triple crown.
Triple crown.
Triple crown champion, so maybe
Tap it
he
morning
could
till you
get-
dare know.
I know.
What's gravity?
What's it
Sorry, my
He from
tongue's
Wales?
tied up.
What? That's not ours.
from the valleys. So that's
business class. Oh.
so 2 matches down, and
What's
both
Newcastle?
matches we have been
Wow.
split on who is going to win the match.
Right, the next match that I
What
think
could it be?
would be Team Hell No, Kane, Daniel Bryan
Calm
versus
yourself.
Dolph
though.
Ziggler and Big E with AJ Lee. There's a
Ooh.
lot of E's and Z's and
And then there's
Double
also
D Langston.
then there is also the possibility there is meant to be a big surprise that Vinnie Mac is going to reveal on SmackDown, so we can't take that into account. But there is the possibility also still that this match could end up being made for both the tag titles and the Divas title
Yeah,
by putting
stick
Caitlyn in. Either way, I think the result would probably end up going the same way. I don't think
No.
it would overly affect the match result or anything
it
like
could be
that.
like a two-pronged match. Like if Big E, if like say Team Hell No say Kane pins Ziggler, then they come in the tag belt. Retain the
Ricardo
tag
just
belts.
private messaged me.
Are you
That's
joking me?
You
They
know,
love me!
love the picture, and then he was like, "See you there," because I told him I come to access.
My word, somebody else.
Ricardo,
Yeah.
must do.
I from the PM, yeah? Alberto
That's
Del Rio and
amazing.
Ricardo love me!
Well, there's so many southern things here.
Awesome.
Alberto Del Rio, Ricardo.
What was I
Sorry.
Yeah, and then if like say Ziggler then pins Daniel Bryan, then the Divas title hands over to AJ, so she doesn't need to be involved in the pinfall.
I think that's the way it will be, probably, if they go down that route.
I think it is fair to say that we have reached, sadly, that point now where Hell No are going to drop the titles. Maybe not split up as a team or anything like that just yet, but I do think at this point it is logical that the tag titles are going to be dropped and go over to Ziggler and Big E.
Okay.
He's just digging his face into the crisps and depression and that Kane's going to lose the tag titles.
Yep.
But definitely, it's going to be Ziggler and Big E for me to win the tag team titles.
Well, I say that Team Hell No are going to retain. So
I will echo that as well.
whoa, what a shock!
Don't look at me like that.
What?
I just think, though, the way they set it up in Raw this week, though,
I just think.
Hell No getting the beat down, by Big E.
But this is the thing, all the heels did.
I know,
so
I know.
some heels are going to come out on top.
I
of
still
this
think, though,
WrestleMania.
where Dolph's concerned for later in the night, it's best that they keep the belt off him, the tag belt, so that's why I'm going for Hell No.
Hell no.
Oh, let's see.
On your own, on your own.
I love them, but I really don't think Ziggler's gonna win anything unless it's the world heavyweight.
Anyway, moving on.
Right, so we'll go for Sheamus, Randy Orton and the Big Show versus The Shield, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins and the shouty fella, Dump.
Oh,
Believe in the Shield.
So this match, obviously we'd seen... Yeah.
Weed the people?
Weed the people.
We'd seen...
Oh, I just see them tweet that to Orton. Seb Coulter tweeted that to Orton, and then at the end put "weed the people." And
We've
they were always
seen
like,
Big
"Weed."
Show turn from heel to face, going, God, yeah,
Go on, fella. Go on, fella.
and all that stuff. So this is a match I'm really not personally bothered about because Big Show and Orton just bore me.
Sorry.
No, I'm
That's why you
excited.
like it rolling.
I'm excited
Yeah.
because I'm
No.
really looking forward to seeing Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns in the ring having a proper match. Because I've enjoyed their matches on pay-per-views. They have actually had some really, really good six-man matches. Like both the one at TLC and all that Ryback and was involved in was a really, really good match. So to have them at WrestleMania, I can't wait to see it, and it will be interesting. Will they go the ramp or will they go the crowd? That is the question. But I'm going for the Shield to pick up the victory either by clean finish or by a sneaky turn by Randy Orton.
Yeah, I've always said that.
Dun, dun, dun.
I've always said that Randy Orton is going to be the leader of the Shield by the time this match is over.
And I have to agree with you simply in the fact that Orton is really what could you say, over-facing it. He's being like
Uber face.
he's being even more of a crazy face than Cena in terms of, you know, the way he acts to the crowd during matches. You climbing up the turnbuckle and going, yeah, come on, like this, you know.
It's almost like he's trolling them, like
Yeah,
Jericho type.
He is really getting this crowd on his side, and I think that could be the perfect reason for him to be the one that turns on Sheamus and the Big Show.
And it'll be a case of there'll be an RKO out of nowhere. And
Imagine that.
Did you see the tweet yesterday? Orton turns 33 out of nowhere because it was his birthday. But no, definitely for me, Shield's victory.
I think that the Shield are going to win, and as I say, Orton is going to be the leader of the Shield.
Yeah, Shield.
I'm going with the Shield victory.
Woo!
I think their momentum's that good now that to pull the rug out from underneath them
Especially at
now
WrestleMania.
at WrestleMania would just kind of undo all the good that they've done. You know, they've put them over everyone that they've, you know, faced.
Totally.
So do it again, whether it be Orton turning heel or just whatever way they go about it.
So that's the first unanimous vote.
So the
4
next
matches
one,
in.
It looks like we all believe in the Shield.
We all believe in the
So
Shield.
the next one is Chris Jericho versus John. Go.
Go.
Good news for that star.
I really want Jericho to win in this
Yes, please.
Yeah, no, I would really want Jericho to win. But it's one of those ones that's just like, right.
Jericho's one of those
He's-
guys that doesn't mind putting anyone.
Yeah,
Plus
no,
the
that
fact
is
that
true.
he's going on a tour like the next week.
Closet.
With Fawley.
But apparently the way his tour falls allows him to appear on the Raw. Like they're not playing on the night that Raw is, or something like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
the very night after. The night after.
Yeah,
it's like, no,
he
it doesn't
leave
start
Is
until
he
it
away
doesn't-
as soon as that though?
No, it doesn't start until like the 11th, I believe.
So, you know, he's fine,
Maybe
he's
not.
clear. But this is a hard one for me. I'm really kind of, it could go either way. The thing that makes it confusing and you're like, which way could it go? It's the simple fact that it's
Fandango.
Fandango's first proper
he's kind of
match.
just
But
like
then-
come out of nowhere.
With
really.
this, with it, like an RKO, with that same respect, then why didn't you say that to do with Big E? Because that's his first match as well.
No, that's true. Anyway, I was the only one who picked Ziggler, so, you know,
Yeah, but
with Big E, so
you didn't give a reason for that. Then?
I just felt they would win anyway, but nonetheless, this one just feels more confusing. It's not to damn hell no in the sense of Kane or Daniel Bryan in comparison to a Chris Jericho, but for me, this match has more at stake in terms of for Fandango winning over Jericho than Ziggler winning over Hell No sort of thing. So that's why I could see Ziggler being the clearer one to go over Hell No possibly.
Yeah.
But I could see this one, if Fandango does go over, being a dirty finish of some kind. I really don't think Fandango would go over clean in this at all. I could see it ending up being like a DQ or something.
Yeah.
I think
Chris Jericho just goes nuts.
I want Jericho to win, but I think because
You just want to see the sparkly jacket, just be honest.
Fandango seems to be the Del Rio of this time, is that, you know, this is Vince's pet project.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of, he seems to have a lot of,
And when Vince gets behind you, he doesn't stop.
yeah,
Except for
sounds
Triple
so
W.
wrong. So it does, it really does.
It was intended to.
Of course it was.
But I would like to see Jericho win, but I don't think he will. But I'm rooting for Jericho.
I'm still thinking, go ahead.
I'd like to see Jericho win as well, just because I'm not really invested in the Fandango character as yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he is slowly but
Or-
surely growing on everyone, you know, and eventually, you know, everyone will be a Fandango fan, but just not yet for me. It's a bit premature, so I'll go with Jericho. And I could see Fandango getting a dirty win, as Allan was saying.
I think this is one of those ones that there's always a match like this every year where you say, I think such and such is going to win, but I'd like the other one
Do
to
you think they
win.
would ever do the thing with Fandango
So
refusing to actually
Beep at the
participate
horn.
in this match?
Do you not hear Alberto Del
Yeah, I
Rio?
heard the horn. He's a dose of the horn.
The way Fandango...
It's like a baby pulling an apple. You know what?
to cut a bit of time.
You know what? I think I'm going to stick with Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho's the
I think I'll stick with Jericho. Something will happen that they'll allow Fandango to get out of it looking good.
Yeah.
So is that another unanimous for Jericho then?
Yep.
Fair enough.
Right, so the next one will be versus Jack Swagger.
You okay then?
This has been one that had really good build up to it, and then over the last couple of weeks has kind of just come to a standstill.
It's just been kind of repetitive.
In my opinion,
Sneaking past the body.
not because at fault of Del Rio, I think personally. Del Rio's been doing the face thing fine, he's been doing the responses, all that sort of stuff. I think him and Ricardo have done really, really well with this. But I do think it's the Jack Swagger and Zeb Coulter bit which has got really, really stale.
They haven't been changing up what they're saying.
They should have been doing stuff for weeks. You've said it as well on our podcast. They should have been doing stuff for weeks like they did on this week's Raw.
Even that though,
out and going places.
Even that wasn't enough. It's like they didn't use the environment they were in enough. If you know what I mean.
I think what if they'd have done it
weeks.
really well, they should have actually done it in, we saw the building, the
Go
government
closer
building
to it.
behind them. Go closer to it, or go inside the main hall or something
That
like
would have
that.
been.
That would be great. But
It's just the song.
like Chris has said it before, they should have done something very similar to the likes of the JBL thing, as in go to like the Mexican border or something, like look here they are, they're sneaking across our borders and things like that. Not just talk every week.
What?
I'm setting you up.
You said about talking every week, which I totally agree with. I think that the fact that Zeb Coulter, I think with all this, what was your man's name? The one he called them, stupid wrestling people.
Glenn Beck.
I think that whenever that happened, the wheels kind of came off the truck, and it kind of came to a standstill. There's altercations between them, but it doesn't seem to be as.
Although they've done the whole thing with Ricardo, I suppose, getting his ankle
Yeah.
snapped.
Yeah, but they haven't really done anything where it's a case of, like Del Rio, like as I said, as somebody said on a podcast about, it was an idea that they should have had Del Rio, or they should have had Ricardo deported, which would have played up on the whole thing, and then Del Rio would have been fuming because he's a citizen and Del Rio, Ricardo's not, and something like that.
Well, if Ricardo had been applying for his visa to stay in the country or something like that.
Yeah. But no, I think it'll be a really good match, but I really am intrigued to see what will happen to Swagger after this match because of his previous indiscretions to do with the marijuana.
I think he could be taking a wee tumble down to
I
the
think
card for a while.
I think this is going to be another. I think because the Daniel Bryan wasn't short enough, I think this is going to be short.
I think
this is going to be short at 18 seconds.
They kind of go on the Swagger front again there, the way I was saying he may take a wee tumble down to mid-card. The only thing that saved Jack Swagger is that Glenn Beck thing that happened.
Yeah.
They needed him on TV to counteract Glenn Beck.
Otherwise,
if Glenn Beck hadn't got involved, I think Swagger would have been out of the picture. He would have been gone to, have his wee 30 days break. But, I still think it's going to be a decent match, but I will have to go for Mr. Del Rio to pick up the victory.
Yeah, I think Del Rio as well. But I think that Del Rio will win, but then Swagger and Coulter will lay the beat down on him, and then Ziggler will come in and try to cash in.
My prediction that I made many months ago. What about you two?
I don't know who to go for. I'm going to say Swagger.
Really?
I think they're higher on Swagger than they are on Del Rio. And I think.
Well, I'm sure Swagger's pretty high.
I think his marijuana thing will just be brushed aside and we'll forget about that.
See, the thing is, the crowd reactions have been far stronger for Del Rio, in my opinion, than they have been for Swagger.
I still don't think though Del Rio's where they want him to be.
They want to push Del Rio to the moon. They want They want him to be their guy now, because Ray is done. Sin Cara is Sin Cara.
Sin Cara is really like young Ray that he just keeps getting injured all the time. Oh, concussion! No, my head.
But I don't see Sin Cara ever reaching Rey Mysterio platform at all.
He'll never be around long
enough
to reach it.
The thing is, the big difference that WWE has, the big thing that WWE has, the difference is if they can get Del Rio to be their guy with a Latino audience, number one, they have his face. He is not under a mask. Yes, WWE sold tons of merchandise off of Ray's masks.
But they can sell tons of scarves now.
Yes. But they can have a face to go send to Mexico or wherever to be their guy, and the fans will connect with that more, in my opinion.
I think he already is their replacement, no matter what happens in this match. He is,
But I think they feel that they still need to push him a great deal more to make him, fully over with everybody basically.
If
But
Swagger
yes.
doesn't win a Mania, I think he will be down the future winner. I don't see him come back down to the mid cards.
I don't see him going way back to what he was at all.
I do
No
think
chance.
the person that will dethrone Del Rio will be Swagger, whether it's at Mania or Extreme Rules, I don't know. But
I don't even know whether he'd beat him at Extreme Rules.
I know a Swagger is
We'll
too
just
different.
have to see, but I'm Del Rio, you're Swagger, and you are...
Daddy,
Yay!
on your
You get to be on your own. How does it feel now, Chris? Doesn't feel so good, does it?
No.
So the
That's
next
all
match
done.
that would be Ryback versus Mark Henry,
Feed me more.
which doesn't really look like it's going to be the most interesting of matches, to be honest, because it's
These were all
No,
I'm
Yes,
still
but-
looking forward to Big Mark.
yes, but it's the same thing of
splitting
like
some wigs.
it's like listening to the Self-Destruction of Ultimate Warrior and then DiBiase saying that the Hercules and Warrior matches have to be short and sweet because they're both the same style, whereas
It's going to be ugly, is what you're saying? Bowling shoe ugly, as JR would say.
yeah, I think Ryback's going to struggle to get Henry up the shell shock.
You could potentially have an embarrassing moment.
It's
Yeah.
that's just the
We
thing.
could have
It's
another Lesnar shooting star
it's
press.
bad that I want to see
The boss.
the botch because Ryback has not had the best of luck with the shell shock on certain individuals.
I mean, if he can't get
Is
Heyman
that
up, if
sweet
he can't get Tensei up,
Yeah.
how does he get
If he
Mark
can't
Henry up?
if he can't get Heyman up in it, if he can't get Tensai up in it, he's going to have a hell of a job with Mark Henry because I'll tell you now, Tensai is a big guy, but Mark is more rotund around the middle than
And I don't
Tensai.
think even Mark can move as good as, say, Tensei. I don't think
No.
Mark will be able to assist
I
I think
him
if
as
we were
much.
to see, if we had seen Ryback doing it to Big Show, then we would be, they'll do it, no problem.
But I think Henry would struggle to help him.
Yeah,
But I'm just a wee bit evil and want to see Ryback botch shell shock at WrestleMania because the crowd would just get on top of him, something shocking.
Mark
Not to
Henry's-
make a pun on shell
Mark
shock
Henry's
or anything.
career ended.
But it will be a
By
painful
Rolo
thing to see
catastrophe.
if it all goes according to plan and Henry's up in the shell shock. It will be.
It will still be a
Ryback's
bit
WrestleMania
inside,
moment.
but this will be a match that'll go 2 or 3 minutes at the very most. It's not going to be a long match at all. And I will be going for Ryback for the victory.
Same.
Mark Henry.
Mark Henry.
Oh.
Intriguing.
I just think that Ryback's lost a lot of ground with all his pay-per-view. Like he hasn't really had a big pay-per-view win for quite some time.
See,
That's why
I
he
think
needs this
that's
one.
why I think as well, because I think post WrestleMania we may see the sort of
I think this is
resurrection
when
of
you're going to
Ryback.
see Ryback dominating.
No,
We may
I
see
think
the
that-
resurrection of Ryback.
I think Mark Henry's going to have one last run
Yeah.
in it, and he's going to go for like the World Heavyweight Championship. I think he's going to be like a big contender for that again.
Well, that's another split down the middle. So there you go.
Right, so we will go for Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in a no-holds barred match. If Triple H loses, he must retire.
So Triple H comes to the retirement, the only retirement match. Great success. Yes, and I've cut my hair. All that sort of stuff.
I like the fact that Titantron only has him with short hair.
Yeah.
It's like
You never had long hair?
Long hair to each is out
That's like that
history.
WrestleMania 17 match.
Never
Never
happened.
never.
Never.
Who are those guys?
We dreamt it.
It never existed, except if you buy the Streak DVD. Yeah.
Or WrestleMania Anthology.
But I can't wait for this match, to be quite honest. I think this is going to be really,
You keep
really.
saying it's gonna be a
I think it's gonna be.
bloodbath.
I think it's going to be violent. I think we will get blood in this. Maybe,
There
will be
maybe,
blood.
maybe not planned.
But they'll.
But I think they'll just go for it and won't hold back, and just something will happen that will cause.
I think if
them
anyone's
possible.
going to get a bye ball for having blood or
it'll be these two.
it'll be Triple H.
How many times has Brock busted people open? Because he's didn't he
Well,
bust Cena not once but twice?
Yeah, that's when he just like got seen on the ground, just whammed into his face.
And then Brock himself got busted open by Triple H. So
Probably just go down a similar route that Taker and Trips went down last year.
just go out and do it
They
themselves.
generally do it the hard way, as they say.
Yeah, do it the hard way. But I do think this will be a really good match. Having Shawn out there
Which
now,
is pretty cool.
Yep.
You heard that, yeah.
having Mr. WrestleMania out of the ring now is going to be a nice twist. Whether we'll see Stephanie at some point as well, who knows? Because it also was announced on Raw that she's going to be inducting Trish at the Hall of Fame. Still should have been Lita. But then having Heyman there as well, it's going to be very, very intriguing outside presence. And in my opinion, I am going to go for Brock Lesnar to beat Triple H.
I'm going for that one as well.
I'm
Brock
going the other way.
Lesnar.
I'm going for Triple H.
But does he really need to?
I'm going to
Wrestle again?
say that the same thing's going to happen that happened last year whenever
Shawn?
with Shawn Michaels super kicked the Undertaker and then Triple H hit the pedigree, but he's going to hit Triple H by accident, and Triple H is going to kick out. It's going to be like one of those moments. And
I think that would be a brilliant spot, like.
yeah, and then I think Triple H is going to win with like the sledgehammer or something. It's going to be like he's going to do something, or the one thing that's in my mind, and I don't know why, would be a pedigree from the top turnbuckle.
And Bret Hart for
Pedigree
Cena,
and
so,
shooting star
yeah.
press at the same time. There we go, prediction. I think we're going to properly see him hit the shooting star press properly.
Oh,
Please,
never
Brock.
happen.
Please do it, Brock.
But yeah,
If he knows what's good for me, I'll never go to the top rope again.
I think Triple H is going to win, but I think there's going to be Shawn Michaels is going to come into the match, but I think it's going to be something. He's going to accidentally hit Triple H. And
See,
then,
the thing for me, right, is at the end of the day with Triple H, whether Triple H is meant to retire if he loses this match or not, it doesn't really mean anything in my opinion, because at the end of the day, Triple H is going to become the boss. He's going to become the figurehead on TV like Vince is nowadays. He makes the rules. So if he wants so if he wants to have a street fight with someone down the line, by all means he will have a street fight with someone down the line. I don't think it's that as big a deal for Triple H as it was with, say, Shawn a couple of years ago. Shawn definitely was ready to go. You know, he was ready to hang up the boots and be that. Whereas Triple H, you know, he'll do what he wants. He'll do his VDX skit on Raw 2000 when that happens in 20 years' time. That'll all happen.
I just don't think with Triple H being as close to the wrestling business as, you know, rather than Ric Flair or Shawn Michaels, is the only reason why he'll not retire. It's because he's still actively running, you know, he has the hunger for it. And due to the fact of watching his training videos and stuff, if he's doing that for just one match, then fair play to the man. But I think he'll have like maybe another 1 or 2 matches. I think WrestleMania 30 will be like the match that he will retire at. I don't see it seeing him calling it a day now.
The only other thing for me is the fact that there's again the rumours that it's going to be Brock versus Rock at 30, with the two confronting at the following Monday Night Raw. You know, you know, it would be weird having both of them coming out as losers.
Loser
on Raw. That's the only thing that gets me. But anyway, I'll be going for Brock. You're going for Triple H.
Yeah. I'm going for Trips.
Brock.
And again, split down the middle.
Not you, no. Him.
Yeah. Next match.
I wasn't gonna hide back.
Next match will be
Undertaker versus CM Punk.
Yeah, in a singles match.
Seriously, they should have given us a stipulation for this. I thought we were going to get a stipulation on Raw. When Undertaker was building it up, saying, you know, I will destroy you and do this and make you regret this. And
many dragons have laid siege to my fortress, Punk.
Dirty innuendo and a half there. But I thought when initially
will be eviscerated.
Because I was half asleep. Because I was half asleep. Because I was half asleep when watching that segment, I thought Undertaker was going to announce when the Druids came out, oh, here comes a casket, we're going to have a casket match or something like that.
It was only whenever I was actually half awake, and then Laura said that Undertaker doesn't know what's going on here, and I thought, oh, right.
See, I didn't catch that initially, but then
you called it. You called it. Go on, you brag about it.
But I called it. I called it a number of weeks ago. Paul Bearer coming. Paul Bearer. We thought Paul Bearer came out, but in fact it was Paul Heyman dressed up as him with the makeup on and holding the urn. And CM Punk was a druid. My
Just like he
goodness.
was the guitarist for Chavo's celebration.
And he was the gangster for John Cena.
Yeah.
But apparently word's coming out now that the Moody family is not happy with that segment in comparison to what had been described to them
I
over
think
the
it's maybe the
telephone.
contents of the urn and that. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they were gonna. I think they were gonna do
Like,
something like that. You know, that they were gonna beat Undertaker up with the urn or something. I don't think they maybe mentioned the fact that they were gonna unscrew the urn and pour the ashes out.
As if
And
to say this is Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
I think where they really got close in terms of the fine line of going over it, well, pole vaulting over it, was when CM Punk, you know, yes, he poured them on the Undertaker, but when he rubbed his hand, grabbing the pile and went like that, like rubbed it over his face, you know the way, like in fox hunting in the UK, if it's a person's on their first hunt, they have to take the blood from the animal and they have to put it over their face. That was kind of the thing he did. Like, I have just destroyed the Undertaker sort of thing. But I think it is kind of logical.
The thing that annoys me about this,
Well, block
the
your
fact
face.
that they've made it so personal as well, is that, you know, it just says Undertaker is definitely winning here.
And Punk needs to go out and flipping relax for a while because he's injured to hell.
I
So
think this is probably the 1 year in the last few years where you kind of think the streak is not in jeopardy at
Yeah,
all here.
but
you know?
I'm sure as hell still going to enjoy the match. I'll tell
Oh,
you.
yeah.
You
Oh,
know, the moments
yeah.
during the match. You know,
Yeah.
Very good.
and fingers crossed, Heyman is pulling double duty and involved in this
I say it would be.
because he would be a good part of it. But yes, Undertaker.
CM Undertaker.
You wanna make
It's got to be Taker.
Taker.
Yeah.
Taker.
Bit obvious.
I
wasn't
love CM Punk, but
it?
I'd rather
Yeah,
Taker.
I think we
than-
can't
Just
really-
go home for a while and relax.
yeah, go chill out.
Spend
He
some
deserves
time
it.
with
He deserves it.
I think after the fact that he's basically
CM Punk.
I just heard Lita and I was like, what?
he's been basically carrying the
The
company,
company.
and you
For the
know,
last 2 years.
yeah. So I think he has deserved it. And the last match is the match that nobody has any interest in whatsoever, which is the part timer, the WWE champion, the 1 out of 4 or maybe 2 out of 4 Raws at best, Rock versus John Cena.
John Cena.
John Cena.
The Fruity Pebbles leader, John Cena.
For you, big boy.
He's gonna say the Rock.
He's got stuff in
No, I think Cena.
Oh, good.
He just was trying to be
I
dramatic.
don't need to slap you there.
I think the way it goes, The Rock is here to put Cena over this time.
Yeah.
You know,
It's return the favour time.
Are we going to see a Cena heel turn?
Only if he loses. Only if he loses.
I could see something happen a la WrestleMania 17 with Austin and.
Well, I was joking about Austin saying he's not going to be there and showing up and like
no,
stunning
but
people.
I think
Yeah.
what was the whole point of Laurinaitis coming out to
Yeah.
talk to The Rock? I think that Laurinaitis.
Because it was never explained how was Laurinaitis rehired, why was he rehired, you know.
I think Laurinaitis is going to come out and we're going to think that he's going to be there to help The Rock or whatever, and he's going to help Cena, and then the end is going to be those.
To be
two
quite honest, that
together.
wouldn't make as much of an impact as Vince and Stone Cold.
I don't think there's going to be any shenanigans.
I
in
do
this
think,
match.
I do think Cena will go over clean. Like I think we'll have a moment where it completely just looks like Cena is completely beat. He is done. I think maybe Rock does something like he did in the match versus Austin at 19, where he like hits Cena with like back-to-back rock bottoms to, you know, be like, I am sure he is done, and Cena still kicks out.
He has to win because, I mean, obviously last year he divorced his wife. So, you know, God
You know,
knows
what,
what he'd do
you know, he's
now,
nobody.
to be honest.
He's nobody to divorce now. You know, he's got fun bags, but you know, that's it. That's what I refer to the bell as now.
What do you think of the argument, oh, the New York crowd won't take a Cena win?
Right.
The crowd will. The crowd will
I hate
still.
that. If Cena wins, we riot.
The crowd will still be, you know, very partisan. There's going to be tons of Cena fans because there's fans coming from all over the world. There's going to be tons of Cena fans. There's going to be tons of Rock's fans. It's going to be like it was last year. There's going to be split down the middle. But, you know, I'll be happy, to be quite honest. I have always been the Rock fan, but I will be very happy to see Cena
You know, the thing
win the
is
belt at
that
WrestleMania.
does this match close out WrestleMania, or will it be
Yes.
the Undertaker match?
No,
No,
the news
it'll be
was
Rock
like,
Cena.
yeah.
It'll be Rock Cena. no matter how much I would love Undertaker and CM Punk to round out WrestleMania, it'll be Rock Cena.
Yeah.
I've just been judging by, you know, like the things on Raw with the fact that the Undertaker and Punk segment was on last.
I think we've kind of.
I think it's just.
Feuds. You know, you've had Triple
Yeah.
H and Brock closed Raw a few weeks ago. Now it's Taker's turn this week.
Yeah. I wouldn't read into it a great deal, but nah, it's gonna be Cena Rock because they're the only guys in the poster. So
Yeah.
And we get to hear P. Diddy, or Diddy, or whatever, Sean Diddy.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
Skylar.
Tell the world that I'm coming home.
No. Diddy sings that, so we'll leave it to him, not you. Leave it to him.
Rumour has it Jay-Z maybe doing an entrance.
Rumour
Do you know that?
Yeah, and we're sure they were saying about that 3-6 Mafia.
Gonna split some wigs.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, especially with Donald Trump being there.
So that's us, everybody. That is our WrestleMania predictions. Is there anything else we'd like to say before we leave the good folks and go and enjoy ourselves?
I predict one thing.
A riot.
Pain.
Pain!
How's the pain? No, I don't think so.
No, we're all good. So we'll do a video when we all come back from our fantastic trip to New York and
They'll probably do.
see who
You'll be vlogging.
did the
today.
best.
I'll be vlogging.
We'll let
again.
we'll let
Or
Haley
Thursday I'll be
we'll let Haley do the vlogging. We'll jump in the background and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. So
I'm sure you will do some videos as well.
and probably put
The only
the
thing I'm worried about is draining my memory on the phone, the battery.
yeah, because iPhones are terrible now.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll see you all after
See y'all
WrestleMania. We'll see you soon. Go have some Rolos.
You really need to take that scarf off, you're getting compromised.
But we'll see you all after WrestleMania, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Guys.
See y'all soon.